Representative Jim Jordan reveals context to shocking Fisa memo providing corruption at highest levels of FBI and DOJ, by Joshua Kaplan for thegatewaypundit.com. Representative Jim Jordan joined Fox News' Martha McCullum Friday night to discuss the shocking Fisa memo revealing the report details what happened at the highest levels of the FBI and Justice Department. In addition, the Freedom Caucus members provided important context to the memo. Credit Fox News. Let's take a look.
Jim Jordan, he sits on both the Judiciary and Oversight Committees and has read what is being called a shocking memo, as you heard from Ed Henry's report. Congressman, good to see you tonight. Can you, now, I know that you're all not talking about the classified information that's in this 4-page document that was put together by Devin Nunes, which basically collates all of their investigation that he wanted all of you to see. You've read it. Do you believe that there is a crime in there committed by the DOJ and the FBI or members of those entities?
Look, what I believe is what my colleagues have said. What I've said is the American people need to see this. We want the journalists in this great country to see this, but mostly we want the American people to understand what the FBI did, how wrong it was. And again, we're not allowed to talk about it, but the last point Ed made is right on target. The committee can meet today, can meet tomorrow. If a majority of the committee votes to release this, it goes to the White House. The White House can say thumbs up or thumbs down. My guess is they're going to say thumbs up. And then it's out there and the American people can see what took place at the highest levels of our FBI, at the highest levels of the Justice Department, that should not happen in this great nation.
So what's the plan on that? Why didn't they meet today if it's so urgent?
Look, I'm for pushing for it. I give the Chairman Nunes a lot of credit. He has pushed hard. He's the one who put this memo together. We called for it a week and a half ago. Congressman Meadows and I and others said, make this available to Congress so we can see it. And then we think once we see it, that there will be such a demand, such an outcry for this to go public, that it'll go public. So I think that's building.
Has been made to Watergate, which was a scandal, an election scandal of digging into another campaign. Okay. Now, if this is worse than that, which is what Matt Gaetz of Florida has called it, it would draw a picture of an Obama administration attempt to derail the Trump campaign. Is that what's in these 4 pages?
Again, I can't talk about the specifics. It's why we're pushing so hard to get public, so we can talk about the specifics. But think about what we knew a long time ago. The Clinton campaign paid for the dossier. Think about those text messages from Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, where they talk about, remember the text message where they said, walking through Walmart, I can smell the Trump supporters, the derision they have for people who supported, the anti-Trump bias, the pro-Clinton bias, and then think about the text message that talks about an insurance policy to make sure Donald Trump is not elected by the American
people. I hear you, but all of those things are, you're allowed to not like the candidate. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're involved in a conspiracy to derail the candidate.
The same Peter Strzok who ran the Clinton investigation, the same Peter Strzok who interviewed Cheryl Mills, interviewed Huma Abedin, interviewed Mike Flynn in the Russian investigation, the same Peter Strzok who changed the now famous exoneration letter from gross negligence, a criminal standard, to extreme carelessness. That same Peter Strzok has said, I can smell the Trump supporters in Walmart, has that kind of attitude, and the same Peter Strzok, who's deputy head of counterintelligence. So that's all stuff we knew. But we can't get into the specifics of this memo, but that's why we want to public.
Alan Farkas, who was a member of the Obama administration, who went on MSNBC and basically said, let's play what she said.
I was urging my former colleagues and frankly speaking, the people on the Hill, it was more actually aimed at telling the Hill people, get as much information as you can, get as much intelligence as you can before President Obama leaves the administration. So I became very worried because not enough was coming out into the open, and I knew that there was more. We have very good intelligence on Russia. So then I had talked to some of my former colleagues, and I knew that they were trying to also help get information to the Hill.
All right, so their argument was that they had uncovered this collusion that we've been talking about forever between the Trump campaign and Russia, and that they were so concerned with what they had found, and we know that they had lowered the bar for classified information so a lot more people could get their hands on it. They admitted as much in the New York Times article and in that interview. So they wanted to be sure that those tea leaves were still out there when they left so that it wouldn't get dropped.
So they unmasked a bunch of names.
Is that part of what we're talking about here?
Again, I can't get into specifics, Martha, but they unmasked a bunch of names. We do know that happened. We do know what Chuck Schumer said. Chuck Schumer said, if you go against the intelligence committee, almost sending a threat to the president-elect of the United States, if you go against the intelligence committee, they have 6 ways of Sunday to getting back at you. So we know that statement was made. We know the unmasking was done. And what do we also know? To date, not one bit of evidence which shows any coordination between the Trump campaign and Russia to influence the election. But what we do know is the Clinton campaign paid the law firm who paid Fusion, who paid Christopher Steele, the author of the dossier, and Christopher Steele did what? Paid Russians for that information to accomplish what goal? Influence the election. That's the great irony here. So those are things we do know. When this memo goes public, I think it'll provide an even bigger and better picture for the American people to see how the FBI did what they did and how wrong it was.
Do you have all of the Republican members on the committee in favor of releasing the document?
That was the vote yesterday, yesterday morning, to make it available to members of Congress.
Right.
It was a partisan line vote, party line vote. Democrats all voted against it, of course. I believe they will. Chairman Nunes has done great work and is pushing hard to get it public. We're just having to make it happen sooner rather than later.
Congressman Jordan, thank you. Good to see you tonight.
There you have it, folks. I'm not going to read what they said. As the Gateway Pundit previously reported, Fox News published a portion of the approximately 10,000 text messages sent between FBI agent Peter Strzok and lawyer Lisa Page. Among the messages is an exchange revealing Strzok and Page discussing the insurance policy against the Trump presidency. Daily Caller reported 2 FBI officials who worked on Special Counsel Robert Mueller's Russia investigation exchanged the text messages. We all know that. And the insurance policy. While Strzok and Page text message exchange is explosive on its own, the idea that McCabe may have been involved in this conversation is nothing short of stunning. Do you think the deputy FBI director would allow 2 employees in his office unsupervised? Unlikely. The House Intel panel's passage of New York Republican Rep. Peter King's motion to release the Fisa abuse memo to fellow House members has rocked Washington, D.C. Republican lawmakers have begun lobbying Intelligence Chairman Devin Nunes to release the memo earlier this morning, and they all signed it here. Representative Jody Heiss earlier this morning, I examined the classified 4-page memo from House Intel Committee regarding the FBI, DOJ, and the so-called hashtag Russian collusion. To put it simply, wow, I joined the call to hashtag release the memos. Americans deserve truth and transparency. And the letter was signed by Stephen King, Matt Gaetz, Mark Meadows, Jim Jordan, Andy Biggs, Scott Perry, Ted Yoho, Jody Heiss, Louis Gohmert, Barry Loudermilk, and Brian Babin, reports Jim Hoft of the Gateway Pundit. Well, you see what was going on, and I hear they're gonna release it Monday, so we're gonna have big news there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and again, thank you so much for watching.